everybody. Monday Night with Mike. You're on it. You are here with me, Mike Donahue, and
Delaney Spencer.
the lady Spencer, the amazing co-host. Yeah, just get out of prison, but she's doing better now.
Oh, yeah. Rehab is going great.
Is it good? Good. Just kidding. Well, Delaney, it's been a weird week for me. I'm just gonna be honest with you. I know you don't care about this at all, but I am a Boston Bruins fan. Even though I have Celtics stuff on today, I'm a Celtics fan as well. I'm a Boston guy, so I grew up there. I got all Boston stuff. You can't see it, but anyways, Black Friday, last Friday, 2 days ago, they decided to gut the team. So on the trade deadline, they either become buyers or sellers, right? So because they've got all these players, and they're not doing very well, they're like out of the playoffs pretty much. So they got rid of all my favorite players. They got rid of Coyle, who is from my hometown, who plays for the Bruins or did play for the Bruins, but he went to the Avalanche, which that's my second favorite team. So that's good. But then Brad Marchand and Brandon Carlo, they just gutted the team. He just gutted them. So now where you got all these young guys that I don't even know, and so it was a bad day.
You might have new favorites, though. They might be even better.
That's true. Actually, they ended up winning yesterday, 4-0 with these new guys. So maybe there's a glimmer of hope. I don't know. They might have got lucky. I don't know. But anyways, so that was my week. How was your week?
It was good. Pretty uneventful, but I did get a new puppy today. So that's
today
gonna make...
you got him?
Yes. This
Nice.
morning.
Oh my God. Yeah, you have that new puppy look right now. I got a new puppy. What's his name? Is it a girl or a boy?
It's a boy. His name is Barley because we have Milo already, so we're harvesting some dogs.
Yeah, isn't there a TV show or something, or a movie? Milo and Barney or whatever? No? What am I thinking of?
I don't know.
So why Milo and then Barley?
Yes.
Why is that a combo? I'm dumb.
It's like sorghum, like crops. So like you can grow Milo, but then you grow barley, and I think they're in the same.
Oh, I forgot you guys are farmers. Okay.
Kind of. Yeah.
See, I'm like a city guy. I'm like, I'd name them like, Cross and Switchblade or something. I don't know.
Blood and Crip.
We do have a dog named Blood. No, I'm just kidding. Oh. He looks like it. We have a Rottweiler. You've seen him.
Oh, yeah.
You seen him? Have you been up there? Have you been
I've seen pictures of him, but I haven't seen him in person.
No, he's a big baby. I mean, if he was ever confronted by another dog, he would lose his stuff. So he looks like he'd kill you, but he's a big baby.
Oh, yeah.
Anyways, well, hey, so all right, we've had you on now. This is like I think the 4th week, and it's been going great. I mean, last week was really good. We talked about parents, and you were really, I was proud of you because you were really vulnerable and honest, and you said that it sparked some good conversations with the home. Do you mind talking about that? Like how not details, but how was it cool talking to your mom and dad about the podcast?
Yeah. I mean, in a way, it was like being able to open up to them without directly speaking to them because they obviously watch it. So hearing kind of their input, and then my mom was, of course, reposting it on Facebook, and then seeing what her friends who are also parents think. My boyfriend's mom was sharing it with her kids, and she really thought about her actions, and it was really nice to be kind of that voice for all of the kids and opening up to my parents specifically, but opening up to all parents, I guess, in a way. It was really great.
Yeah, I had some input too from some friends of mine that said they really liked it. And it's funny because this is my world, right? Like right now I'm in the middle of, this is going to be a shameless plug, but I'm going to do it anyways. I'm in the middle of basically taking my book, Talking to Brick Walls, which is right here for parents. Here's my shameless plug. And making a master class. Like I want to help parents connect with their kids because we talked about it last week, but I do get a lot of kids come to me afterwards and say things that are going on in their life. And then they talk to me afterwards and say, I wish I could tell I wish I could tell my parents what I just told you. I know there's that need on both sides. There's a need for parents to talk to their kids, to know what's going on with their kids. And there's a need for their kids to talk about it and to to be able to trust their parents. So I thought what you said last week was gold. It was really coming from you. It has meant a lot. And so thank you. Good job.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right. So what I want to talk about today, I just want to ask you some random questions about what it's like so far. You've been on, 4 of these, and there's been some feedback from, from your personal life and people in your life. And then we've had some stuff online. What's been like for you to be on this podcast? You
It's
personally?
felt great. Like, it feels like it's kind of helping me prepare for my future because I've mentioned this before. I want to go into helping people mental health. And I feel like, in a way, I mean, this is completely what that is. I mean, it's going through social media and different platforms, but it's helping people understand themselves and understand others. And that's exactly what I want to do. And I like that I'm able to be a representative for my generation. And I like going around school and just kind of watching people. That sounds weird, but like just kind of understanding the social dynamic and stuff. So I'm like, how can I apply this to the podcast? How can I teach a lesson and help people? So I love it so much because I just want to help people and it's helping me help people.
That's good. Do the kids in school know that you're on the podcast?
Yes. So I like to advertise it a lot, but I did have one kid come up to me and he's like, "Do you get paid to do that?" And I was like, "I don't get paid. I did get a free book though." So buy the
Yes.
book.
Yeah, nice. Had to put that in the mail.
Um, I don't get paid, but I do get paid the joy of seeing other people learning about themselves, which is
Yeah,
so cringy, but it's true. I mean, I love doing this. Like I do it for free. I do it for free. But
me too, by the way.
yeah, we all do it for free. Um, but yeah, I mean, people have talked about it. They're like, "Do you get paid?" Um, I kind of shamelessly plug. I'm like, "Hey, at 3, make sure you watch the podcast." I go around like in band. I'm like, "Hey, are you having some issues with your life? Maybe you should tune into this podcast." I grabbed a kid's phone and I was like, "Here, I'll just type it in for you." And I liked it for him and everything. So he watched it though. So I shamelessly plug it. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah,
So they definitely know. Yes.
that's so funny. That's awesome. Well, I've spoke there twice, and I'm getting friend requests on Facebook from some of the kids at school. I see them checking out my stuff, so that's good. Well, good. I appreciate you being on. I think when you said your voice for your generation, that's so true. Um, and I picked you because of that. I don't know. We've had some interactions, and I've spoke at the school. We've talked about this before, but you just really seem to have a good um, eye on those things. So, all right. So next question. Um, why this great segue? Why is it important? Why do you think it's important to have a, a voice from your generation on a podcast like this?
I think, well, first of all, you're doing a great job by yourself, but you're not from this generation. You're a little bit
I'm like
older than that.
25 generations ago.
Yeah. Kind of a lot older. Um, so you do everything you can to understand our generation and the world that we are growing up in. But at the same time, you don't fully understand it unless you are in it. So even though you're doing a great job, having someone from this age, this demographic that you're trying to reach is ultimately just going to be best for reaching out to them, you know?
Would you say thank you? And I totally agree with that. That's not insulting to me at all. That's exactly why I wanted to do it because and I put myself in the category of one of the adults that really tries to
Mhm.
understand without judging and that kind of thing. But it really is you can't it's in my books like you can't really change a culture if you're not part of the culture.
Mhm.
And I can speak into it and I can set up platforms for young people to change their culture, but I can't because I'm
Yes.
not in it. So
Mhm. For
um,
sure.
so that's another reason why when we go to schools we do leadership training and we really try to help the kids understand their role in changing a culture because it's not the adults can't do it. It doesn't matter if you put up a poster or the mission statements on the wall, any of those things. I mean, they're not bad. It's like put them up there, but until a kid decides, a teenager decides, this is what I want from my school, this is what I want from my life, it doesn't change, right? They have to come to that conclusion. And so that goes to a really good question, I think. Why is it important for young people to discover their own values, like with the guidance of adults in their lives? It's but discovery is the most important part of a value, right? If I just tell you what to think and you do it, you're a robot, right? But if I kind of give you a compass and go, here, it's over there somewhere, here's a compass, go find it, and you discover a value, you discover something's important to you, why is that more important than me just giving you the script?
I think it's all about the journey it takes to get there. Because I don't think anybody, well, I know that nobody always thinks that they're a 10. Nobody is always in a great mood. Nobody always feels 100% confident in themselves. And if you are just telling someone that they're great, they might believe it, but it's part of getting there. It's part of the struggles and hardships that you need to get there, because those are the things that make you who you are. And they don't define your value, but they enhance it in a way, in my opinion, if it makes sense. So like you're a 10, but you're a 10 because you got through these struggles and you made it through. You took the journey to find yourself, to find your value, and it wasn't just given to you. You put in the work to realize how much you mean to everyone and how much you mean to yourself.
Yeah. And for me, I was always a 10. The work came for me. The work came and taking away the messages I got that I wasn't. Like, I was always a 10. I really believe that I think everybody's born, as a 10. You're born with value. Like, on a scale of 1 to 10, for clarity, 1 being you don't see the value in yourself at all, and 10 being you really see that you have intrinsic value. It has nothing to do with your social value. It's really, your value. I always had that. I just didn't see it. And I didn't see it for reasons. I was, abused as a child, all that stuff that we had to talk about. That sounds so weird when you say that. But there was all these messages I got that I wasn't valuable, and I had to clear those away. I had to, like, all right, wait, and go back to the basics and stuff. And that is work. You're right. There was a lot of work put into that. I'm actually doing a podcast with my brother right now, and he's my age, right? And he's just a little bit younger than me. But we're that's what we're talking about. I'll admit how old I am. I'm 62 years old, right? He's a little younger. He's 60, and we're talking about this stuff now, right? Like, we're talking about how, like, all the barriers that came in when we were growing up, and the family history and alcoholism and all the messages that we got that we weren't valuable. We're still talking about it now. I like you said, I think I have a pretty good beat on it. I'm pretty confident. There's days that I'm not, obviously, like everybody else, but I have put in the work. So getting back to that original question I asked you about discovery, what have you discovered even in the last, 3-4 months about your value? And what have you discovered, Delaney?
Um, First of all, I want to say this podcast has actually helped me a lot. Um, I've been taking my own advice in a way, I think, which I've never done before. But I'm kind of realizing not to rely on other people to determine how I feel about myself and my value, which is something that I've always struggled with. I know that's such a common thing for people in this generation. A lot of teenagers, you always compare yourself to others. And I've always done that. And just kind of thinking more and more about it, just taking the time to realize what I'm actually doing. I'm not giving myself a happy life. I'm not setting myself up for success and happiness if I'm constantly comparing myself to others and lowering my value just because I think that I'm not as good as someone else at something or anything like that. Academically, sports, you know, I am always a 10 and I can't let other people define that. And that has been probably the biggest thing for me lately, even the past few years. Just realizing I'm always a 10 to myself and my opinion matters. And I shouldn't let other people determine how I think of myself.
Do you? Yeah, I think that's awesome. I think that's awesome. Do you think? Do you mind? I'm going to ask you a question. I can edit this out too if this is too much. But you mentioned last week about a disorder or a an issue that you had, and do you want to unpack that a little bit?
Yeah. Um, so I have trichotillomania, which is a hair pulling disorder. It's a body focused repetitive behavior. So there's a few of them. Like skin picking is one, trichotillomania is one, and then there's another one. I honestly don't remember it right now. But it's kind of correlated with OCD and anxiety, which I also happen to be diagnosed with. And I've had that since I was probably 10 years old, so for about 7 years. And it's not only the disorder itself is hard, but the impact that other people have on it. Because obviously, if people don't understand something, they're going to make fun of it or be curious about it, but maybe in the wrong ways. And I can't judge other people for how they talk to me about it, but it definitely takes an impact on my value because, I mean, pulling out my hair by itself isn't a fun thing to do. It makes me feel bad about myself. I don't like the way I look with no eyebrows or no hair. Like, I don't think anybody does. It's just, it looks weird. And the fact that I'm doing it to myself just lowers my self confidence completely. But then you go to school and people are talking about it. They're like, why do you draw on your eyebrows? I'm like, well, because I don't have any. And it's like, I can make jokes about it, but it's also a very sensitive subject because I've been dealing with it for 7 years. All I want to do is stop it. And then people just bring it up because they don't understand. And going back to my value and not determining it on other people, that has been a huge thing for me because I've noticed my mental health, my trichotillomania, anxiety, all of it gets worse when I let myself wonder what are other people thinking of me. Like, they see me pulling out my hair in physics class. Like, what are they thinking? What are the teachers thinking? Are they going to think that I'm crazy? Are they going to think that, like, what are they going to think of me? And the thing is, you have to tell yourself it doesn't matter what they're going to think of you. And again, that's so cliche, but you have to tell yourself that because if you don't, you're just never going to be happy. I mean, I can't be happy with this disorder when it's happening, but I can make the most of it. I can get through it and I can do everything I can to keep myself happy, keep my confidence, and just continue to love myself no matter what.
First of all, thank you for being that vulnerable. My gosh, like that. Thank you. Um, but I came across a Facebook feed one day, and you were talking about it, and you were trying to raise money for it, and I was like, "What is that?" And then I looked it up, and then I, talked to you a little bit about it, and I love the fact that anybody, but teenagers especially, when they take something like they take a pain and they give it purpose. So you were raising money for awareness and basically outing yourself by doing that. I mean, I was like, oh my gosh, like that's I was so impressed that you were willing to do that. I mean, you basically said to the school, "This is me," and wow, like that's one of the reasons. Another reason I wanted you on this podcast because that's brave. I mean, that's incredibly brave to do that. You know, yeah, I'm just impressed. I just super impressed. So good job. So yeah, so another shameless plug. If you is there can we still donate to anything, or are you gonna do that again, raise money or something?
Well, I started doing that first of all. I want to kind of share what the money is going towards because I think that's important when you're raising money for something.
Yeah.
Um, you can take antidepressants for this because, like I said, it's correlated with anxiety and OCD. Um, but for me, the antidepressants help sometimes, but it's not gone. So there are people out there that are doing amazing research and trying to find ways to make it go away, to find ways to make your brain not have the chemicals in it that make you feel the compulsion to do this. And that's what antidepressants are for, but they're not specifically targeted at certain, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like
Yeah. There's more
antidepressants are kind of
research
a
to do.
broad category. Yes.
Yeah.
So what I raised money for was the TLC Foundation for BFRBs, which are body focused repetitive behaviors. And they send it to researchers all across America who are doing research on ways to, first of all, raise awareness for this because people don't really hear about it that much. Break the stigma because I've been so embarrassed of this for so long. Like you said, I hadn't told anyone about it. And then I was just like, you know what? I'm just going to go out and post everywhere that I have this. Um, so breaking the stigma, raising awareness, but most importantly, funding research to figure out kind of ways to make it better or to stop it, you know?
Yeah.
So
No,
that's
I
what the money's going towards.
good. That's awesome. And if we, in the future, if there's a way we can, put that on there, maybe we can do that now in post production. We can put together a, website or whatever, like give a link to people if they want to donate. But I want to go back to just the bravery that it took for you to come out like that and just say to everybody, this is my world. This is what I'm dealing with. And that's just super brave. And I think it also breaks down the stigma for other things because it may not be that young people are dealing with, but everybody's got some kind of thing going on, right? We're all struggling. We're all trying to get through this life, and it gets tough and it's hard. And so you being brave enough to go, hey, this is my deal. What's your deal? And I actually, let's just do this. If you're out there today and you're watching this right now and you want to share in the comments, like some areas that you're struggling with, or you want to be honest about what's going on with you, would love to hear from you. Would definitely love to hear from you. Both Delaney and I both will comment and, share what we think and help in any way. This is what this is about. It's not about us sitting here on Monday nights telling you what to do with your life and how to be a teenager. I mean, it's been a long time since I've been down that road, but we just want to be support and help. So, Delaney, again, another great podcast. You're doing a great job. Proud of you, really proud of you. And anybody who takes their pain and gives it purpose, because you can be, you can take your pain and be a victim. And there's some, I don't want to get into that too much, but anybody who takes their pain and gives it purpose and decides to do something with it and positive, always to me, you're on the road. You're on the road to getting healthier. And so that's amazing. All right. Last word, Delaney Spencer.
Just don't let other people determine your value no matter what you're going through. That's the best advice I can give on this topic, I think.
Awesome. All right. We'll see you next week. Monday Night with Mike and Delaney.
And Delaney.
All right. See you later.